After Christmas and New Year's break, Paradox is back to working on the 1.1 patch. This is gonna be a much bigger patch than what we've seen in the 1.0.x patches so far. And today is the first of the dev diaries jumping deeper into what they're gonna introduce in that patch, planned for early February, and some examples and screenshots of these changes. First of all, a rework of Privateering. I don't know about you guys, but the UI of the Privateering is completely unreadable, at least for me, and the only thing that it seemed to impact was maritime presence, which is important, but it doesn't feel as powerful as Privateering in EU4. So what they're gonna introduce is that in the next update, you will be actually able to get some gold from the area where privateers are active in. Of course, the defender will still be able to have some buildings to block slave raiders and privateers, but you see, this will be pretty similar to EU4 when the actual gold will be taken from specific locations. One of the big feedbacks is plenty of nations in game, they are really hurt from the proximity system in game, which I personally really like, but indeed nations like Austria, they have issues of getting the right control on, like, for example, their silver mine in the Alps. So they decided to add additional advances that are gonna represent that somehow and give potential topography benefits and sometimes penalties to some nations. First example is Austria, that received minus 50% impact of proximity from mountains, hills and plateau, which should be a game changer. In my opinion, two other regions at least that deserve this kind of bonuses are Persia, and I don't think anyone mentioned it, but for sure Ethiopia. Many hours ago I've tried out Ethiopia and they heard a lot from their location, so I'm hoping for this kind of update to reach to them as well. Let me know in comments who else in your opinion should receive it. Another issue that was reported by many players is, when the Revolt doesn't have too many pops backing it, it will appear as Revolt, but does not even take any location from themselves. They just pop as like 85-man rebellion, waste of time, both yours and games. So they're making a change that if a rebellion is supported by less than 5,000 pops, instead a location is gonna receive a debuff for the next 10 years. Just like you see over here, that location is gonna receive monthly local prosperity and control modifier. Another thing that doesn't work perfectly is slavery market distribution. So in the current patch, when you get slaves, they're gonna migrate like any other pop type within your country, which is not perfect because some locations will need the slaves because of the building, some others will not. So the change that they're making 1.1 is that the slaves will migrate in their own calculation from locations with surplus of the slaves to locations with demand for the slaves. There's also a completely new system of threat being introduced in the game, where every country will be having a view of other country threat-wise, whereas you see here what will be impacting is distance from you, the economy comparison between the two countries, military comparison, as well as population comparison. And as you see here, if you make a big threat of a country your rival, you're gonna get stuff like monthly complacency, as well as prestige and diplomatic reputation. And yes, you might be like worried, oh, there's a mechanic I wasn't aware of in the game, like complacency. You are not aware of it because it's a new mechanic introduced in 1.1, which is also addressing feedback from the community that there's no system for the empires to fall. There wasn't in EU4 as well, yet people didn't complain about it, but they're actually gonna try sorting it out in EU5. I can already tell you that this probably is gonna take a while to get the right requirements and maluses from complacency to actually work as intended. So I think this beta version you see here is probably far away from it, but the overall this is supposed to make the empires decline. So the complacency is gonna increase if you don't have any outside threats, if you don't have any rivals. When you have threatening rivals, it's gonna reduce. when you're being targeted by a collision, or when you lose a war, this all stuff will be impacting your complacency. We don't have a full list yet, but we have a full list of max complacency modifiers, and you see they're pretty much killing your country. I've seen the comment section already that people definitely disagree of proximity cost being impacted by complacency, and they like recommended rather stuff like research speed. This modifiers will probably change by the time we receive access, but I'm more worried than positive about this mechanic for now. I don't think there's a clean vision on how complacency should rise. This might be really annoying for the players, or this can be another mechanic that you never see in action. We'll have to see how it actually develops, and in my opinion, it's gonna probably take a while until they make the tweaks the right way, because also how you would guys do it. I don't have an idea, a clear idea how to do it instead. There are also various UI changes, first of all to the price history, because you know, when you're looking at the price of your goods, you could see the current price, you could see the target price and how it is changing monthly. And now you see the current price is more visible. It's not just next to the target price like it was before, and you'll be also seeing the actual graph history of the price for the specific good. They're also reworking how economy of an estate is being shown to you. And honestly, I'm looking at this tooltip that they posted, I see no difference to what I remember was in game, maybe except the estate's enrichment. I'm not sure if it was there, maybe even it was, but I don't see any clear change here, to be honest. I see it in the other places, not here. In 1.010 they added also production efficiency to next to the building, when you could, you know, upgrade it to a new level. In this 1.1 patch, they're gonna also add production efficiency, potential production efficiency, to locations that do not have any level of the building yet. They mentioned already in previous dev diary that at the end of the war they will also show losses statistics like they did in EU4. What they are adding also to the war screen, and I assume also to the end screen of the war, are actual losses from attrition on this list. And to be honest, I would rather when you have on that losses list, you see each battle's losses. I think more informative would be to see losses for specific nations, or if you want to keep it that way, losses of specific nations should be on the nations list, right? Right now in the nations list you have stuff like war enthusiasm, current troop count. We should see losses as well for full information, especially for the MP games when you want to see, oh, I've killed so many on the Englishman. I also mentioned this one in one of my previous videos already. They also changed the filter system. Filter system is probably one of the biggest things that EU5 has with all of its complexity. But it was very annoying, meaning that each time you reloaded a specific screen to add some filters, the filters were getting reset. Right now, as you see, you can pin specific filters to always be there. So for example, when you're getting the buildings done and you also want to build the buildings in your subjects lands, you can pin or unpin a filter for like to show only owned or not to show only owned locations. Let's also take a look at the comment section and what Johan was saying over there. Somebody is suggesting that when they're out of revolts close to rebellion, like on 90+% of the progress, there could be like altogether rebellion, which is actually not a bad of an idea, so they might actually look into it. Lots of potential about the complacency system, and looks like that's the main thing that the people are, same as me, not so sure about yet. Somebody is also suggesting an advance for Persia about the proximity. This one is actually the most funny that I'm seeing. I like the concept of the complacency, but I think it's a feature to be looked at later. Currently, the game has more an issue that AI doesn't expand enough, and this will only dampen it. It's funny enough because most of the negative reviews right now are coming from AIs expanding too much. You will never make everyone happy, so I'm really looking forward to see an option where player can decide on the overall AI aggressiveness in the game option, because some people will be like Friedman69, some people will be like my friend Magic, not liking the AI is expanding so much. Johan is also mentioning that the rivals are reworked right now. It was like in the previous patches, it was hard to get rivals when it got too strong. Right now, he's saying that you can pick any known subject within the diplomatic range, so will not be punished from success, right, by getting complacency and loss of prestige for lack of rivals. Somebody is saying that there is a mod out there that adds, to the building screen information on the specific location, market access, control, and crown power, which helps decide where to build or not to build a specific building. And Johan passed it to the UX team to take a look at. But yeah, this is it for today's very quick, simple, and to the point. And let me know what you think, guys. I think the current biggest worry is people do leave a lot of negative reviews. It's like 50-50, 40-60 between negative and positive reviews on Steam right now in this current patch, mostly because of the aggressiveness of the AI, and people do expect this to be actually responded to. So let's see if you have to wait for the patch 1.1 for this change to actually get live. Oh yeah, guys. I actually, with help of my friend Sealand, we just released a mod on Steam. You can find it in the video description and pinned comment, that introduces lucky and unlucky nations to the game. It's more complex system than in EU4. Like, there are many more nations, there are unlucky nations for each of the ages, and there are also plenty of modifiers impacting it. Obviously, the mod is still affected by the AIs being so aggressive, but I already seen some nice changes happening there compared to vanilla. Make sure to check it, as it's pretty fun, and